Hello, this is Chris Cool, and I'm here to give a quick walkthrough of MTGO Academy's DeckTech tool. We're on the home page of the DeckTech tool, and on the left you'll see a few buttons and quick links to important parts of the tool, and then in the main part of the screen, recent tournaments with 4 different format types presented. We've got a DeckTech home button that will take you back to the screen, basic and advanced search functionality, which we'll get to shortly, quick links to the different format pages, which you also see similar links here and here and here, and a comment section where you can leave feedback or suggest deck names, which I will talk about also in just a bit. But for now, we'll look at the main part of the screen, the recent tournaments. For each header, you'll see the most recent 10 events that have fired on Magic Online. For now, it's just been standard dailies because we're during the week. And you see the event name, the date that it happened, and the amount of entries for each event. This isn't the total number of players, but rather the players that prized and had their decks presented on the What's Happening page on Wizards' website. So if you click one of the banners or one of the format pages, you go to the most recent standard tournaments page in this case, or legacy or block, depending whatever header you happen to choose. It has the same layout as before, where you've got the tournament name, the date that it happened, and the decks reported, and it displays the most recent 20 events that have fired, and you can navigate to past events by just clicking the different page tabs at the bottom. So now that you know where the different tournaments are, you can look at the events by clicking on a tournament name. For example, this standard daily that happened on August 8th had a decent amount of competitors, and each of them is listed as pilot, record, and the deck that they played. The decks are named by us at MTGO Academy, and we're by no means experts on deck naming nomenclature, so if anything seems like it's named incorrectly, you should definitely point it out in the comments section, and there are instructions in the comment area on how to do that. But deck name and cards that you think define the archetype are what we need to automatically set up the naming process for decks. Okay. So if you want to look at different decks based off of the event that they're in, you can just click on the deck name. Or if you want to see how one of the players that played the deck does overall, you can click on the player name. If you click on a deck name, it just takes you to the basic deck layout with a mouse over window that displays the card on the right. And then there is an option to like the deck on Facebook. And if you're logged into Facebook, it'll post it on your wall and link to it, or download it in text format, which if you just click, it'll save it to your desktop or wherever you want, and you can load it as a text file. We'll go back to the main page in the deck tool and navigate to another event and click on pilot. And you can see this player's last 20 or so finishes. Been playing Pauper, Standard, Block. It shows you across all events what the player has played. Now, while this feature is basically just a fancier version of what you can see on the What's Happening page and a slightly more organized, the real power of the deck tool comes in the search functionality. The basic search allows you to search by deck name, card name, or player name. So for example, if you want to see how a certain archetype is doing, you can type in the deck name, press enter, and it'll show you all of the copies of that deck that have prized in Magic Online events. So this deck has posted a lot of 3-1s and a couple 4-0s since the 5th of August when it kind of came into existence. If you want to search by cards, which personally is one of my favorite functions, you just type in the card name. We have Group Primal Hunter here, which to me seems like an interesting card, albeit a bit clunky. And you can see different people that are trying to use this new Planeswalker in their decks. And then you can also search by player name, which is kind of handy if you're in round 1 of a DE or in an 8-man and you want to try to figure out what your opponent's playing, or possibly if one of your friends is bragging and you don't believe that they actually made 3-1 in a DE, so you want to corroborate their tales, you can just type in their name and it'll show you all of the events that that player has prized in. And then the advanced search gives you a little bit more power. You can search by specific formats, deck names, and player names. So if you want to see a certain player and how they've performed with perhaps Cawblade in the recent standard format, you can search and exclude all the other decks that that player has played, but it'll only return their Cawblade finishes. And you can also search by numerous cards in the deck or not in the deck. So for example, if you want to search for an archetype that has a specific type of card in it that seems a little bit different than the norm, you can type like that deck's name and then the card that you're searching for. Like I've seen Timely Reinforcements in Valakut from the sideboard to help shore up the aggressive matchups, and then press submit, and it'll return the Valakut decks that have been sideboarding Timely Reinforcements. The last part is the comment area, which, as I said before, is where you'll want to make any suggestions for new features for the DeckTech tool. We are only in beta right now, so we do plan on adding additional features. And you can also suggest any names that might better suit a deck than what we have now, or point out any decks that seem to be erroneously named. I hope that you've enjoyed this walkthrough and that you'll find the DeckTech tool as useful as I have. And if you have any questions, please leave them in this comment section.